Hi and welcome to Good and Great Book Reviews. This isn't a book review, but this is one of my short videos encouraging you to read and trying to help you read some more. So if you give me 10 minutes of your time to listen to this video, I'm going to show you how 10 minutes of reading a day can change your life. Well, it can at least help change aspects of your life. Okay, so 5 alliterated top tips for you. Number 1, desperate. Now, why would you ever be desperate to read a book? Well, don't be desperate to read a certain number of books a year, although I like to give myself a number of books a year. That can be rather unhelpful. That's not good at all. You see, I've just tried that in many ways, and sometimes that can steal your joy of reading. Rather, be desperate to learn and grow in your faith. That's what we need to be desperate for. Now, whilst the Bible and the local church are our primary means of grace and growth, Christian books can help us in that. So ultimately, we want to be reading the Bible and praying, we want to be going to church, but alongside that, supplementing that, in a sense, we need to have good Christian books. And so we need to see reading as a means to an end, and that end needs to be growing in maturity and Christ. So be desperate for that. Secondly, be deliberate. Even though we're desperate to grow through reading, we still have to make a decision to read, and unless you decide to do something, you just won't. It's that simple. Now, I'm guessing your time is pretty precious and pressured, and I don't want to just add to your guilt list. But I do think there is a way to find time to read and not have to buy a DeLorean time machine. You see, being deliberate means not watching so much TV or surfing the net or gazing on social media. And you know I'm right about that, don't you? You see, there is time to read, we just need to change our habits. And so being deliberate is more than just making a decision to do something. It's about making the what, where and when decisions, the what, where and then when decisions. We need to know, what are we going to read, where are we going to read it, and when are we going to read it. So we need to plan to read. Is that going to be early morning, or is that going to be during a lunch break or on the commute if you're not driving, although you can use audiobooks? Is it going to be in your favourite chair? We need to be deliberate. Thirdly, I think it needs to be daily. You need to carve out time in your daily schedule to read. Now, these daily schedules change with seasons of life and different seasons of life. So, for example, during the summer, I love to read outside. During the winter, I love to read inside. Before I had children, I would go on holidays and read 10 books. Now that I have children, I'm lucky to read 1 book on holidays. There are different seasons and there are different kind of times of life. But the key thing is to decide on 10 minutes a day and to fix it with flexibility. So find that 10 minutes, try and fix it, but keep it flexible as you do it daily. So a good thing is to find that time. Fourthly, different. You see, sometimes we can get into a book and we can love it and then we read every other book like it, but what it ends up doing is becoming boring. So I might read a Christian biography and love it, and then 3 books down the line, all I'm reading is Christian biographies, and I'm now bored. So I like to mix up my books to read Christian biography, Christian history, Christian doctrine, Christian living, ethics, moral issues, different kinds of books like that. But I also like to read different length books and different kind of difficulty books, so that sometimes I have books which are nice and light to read, and other times I have books which are stretching. And so as I do that, I not only have different types of books, but I read through different types of means, sometimes paper books, sometimes on Kindle, sometimes on my phone. I'll even have different books on the go at the time. Everybody's different, but it is good to have different ways to do it. And then fifthly, if you want to get into reading, then you need to delight. You really do need delight. Reading shouldn't be a drudgery. It should be a delight. And by choosing the right books and choosing the right time and doing that prayerfully, reading really does become a delight. And so I really would encourage you to read, and a couple of books which are really helpful on reading. There's one called Lit, A Christian Guide to Reading by Tony Rank, I'm not quite sure how you say his surname, but A Christian Guide to Reading is very good. And one of the things he talks about is that all books should be read prayerfully. And we've got to be careful about reading them perhaps too fast, or just reading them to get to the end. In fact, an older book, a far older book, Precious Remedies Against Satan's Devices by Thomas Brooks, warns us like this. Let me read what Thomas Brooks says. Remember, it is not hasty reading, but serious meditating upon holy and heavenly truths that make them prove sweet and profitable to the soul. It's not the bee's touching of the flower which gathers honey, but her abiding for a time upon the flower which draws out the sweet. It is not he who reads most, but he who meditates most, who will prove the choicest, sweetest, wisest, and strongest Christian. So that's the key, really, is when you are desperate to grow and you're deliberate in what you read and when, and you do it daily, you read different things, make sure you're delighting. Prayerfully read, seek the Lord, grow in him. Here's the thing, if you're reading something and it's not making you want to read and pray more, if it's not exciting you in Christ, give it up. Give it up. Who cares whether you finish a certain number of books? I tell you what I care about. Am I growing in Christ? And am I loving him? So there's some thoughts on how 10 minutes a day can change your life. And I said this was going to take 10 minutes and it only took 6. So there we are. Enjoy.